Ooh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I usually hem and haw and don't know what I'm doing half the time, but this time I'm prepared. Look at that. Look at that. I didn't have an intro or anything like that. Okay, fine. This is Blue Boy Brown. You see down there, it says Blue Boy Brown, and I'm gonna redo the Battle of Gettysburg. I didn't like the original um, effort I had in coloring that page, so I'm recoloring it, and it looks somewhat better, but it's got a way to go. Still a lot of flatness in there, and but flatness ain't so bad. That's the modern uh, that's the modern project is flatness. It's not the postmodern project, but anyway, let's not get into art history. We'll do that some other time. So what I've done here is I've opened this up, and I haven't looked at it too much this morning. And here I've got another color layer, and I'm looking at it. And see, the last thing I was doing is I leached out some of the pigment in this green here. And let me move this around a little bit. I can't move it around a little bit. Okay. Well, what has happened to me? Okay. Sometimes my wireless tablet gets a. Anyway, I want the brush tool. Don't want that. I want it bigger than that. Okay. So, just play around this foreground and all this. This is a little too soft here. My, yeah, that's a little too soft. So I'm going to have to play around with that. See how I can do that. Get that a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to. Play around with that a little bit. I can't make it look as if it's just like a zone between the figures. As you see, I'm just jumping in. I'm not talking about this and that. And in fact, it's been raining all morning, rained all night. Dog's all upset. He's shaking in his boots. He's a little quirky, and they're not tough dogs. Smart dogs. Man, what a smart dog. But hey, prone to what every dog's afraid of. Scared of the lightning. Scared to death. It's not lightning right now. It was a little bit a while ago. He's just all curled up at my feet. He always comes to me when he feels like the world's about to fall and he's about to get hurt because I'm alpha dog. My wife is his mommy, and he gets real upset when she leaves the house. Well, he doesn't howl or anything like that, but he's standing at the door watching her as she's walking away. Oh, she does not like that. She does everything for him. Boy, she rubs him down and cleans him. It's the cleanest dog you ever seen in your whole life. All our dogs have been super clean dogs the minute they walk in the door. My baby is on top of them and cleaning them and making sure their paws are clean and they're brushed and everything like that. Yeah, she's a good dog owner. I don't like that over there at all. I don't. What happened to that? Did I put that in? Is that in that? No, it's not. Good. It's over here in the. Yeah, it's in the line layer. So I can get rid of that. So I will. I'll just use this. I don't like that. That's not what I wanted. No. want to get rid of that. Yeah, I don't like that. Those lines are too hard. I don't know how that happened. Oh, it's probably right at the end of yesterday, and I was distracted by, I think I was tired and hungry. Well, that was down there. Strange thing. Well, actually, anything that's on that line is there. No, 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 no. uh, so I'm on days when I am not ready to color what's current. I have a tendency. I'm going to go back and recolor things that need work. This is a work in progress. This whole book, especially this first book. This first book is where I'm getting all my chops that I had when I was a kid in comics and all the chops that I have acquired in the 40 something years since then. And putting them in the service of this book. So that's it's not going to come about in just a few days. Yeah, I didn't like that. Let me put it up here and use my yeah, I can define that a little bit better. And just keep on working on these things. And then I'm going to draw and redraw till I'm satisfied that I can't improve it anymore and that it does what I set out to do, which is to establish this trilogy of trilogies. So this first book is a lot like the establishing shot in a movie scene. In an establishing shot in a movie scene, you usually have a long shot or something that describes the entire setting, and then you can do close-ups, middle shots, all that stuff, and go back to the establishing shot to and everybody knows where they are. That's what this book is. This book establishes your knowledge of the Brown family, and you can always go back to your knowledge of these people as the thing that informs all the other generations. They know these people. Same way that I use this paradigm from my father's recollections of his grandparents' family. So I know James Matthew and Catherine's family. I know them. And I have cousins in Texas that they really turned me on to some of the genealogy, told me where to go to figure out all this stuff when I started doing the research for this back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, this started. But I got a hold of my dad's cousins, and they sent me all types of stuff, including pictures of the original family that inspired this story. It's not their story. I never did any of this stuff. But the fact that my great 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 grandfather was born in Metropolis, Illinois, which to all us Superman fans is just too cool. If you're a Superman fan and your great great grandfather was born in Metropolis, Illinois, your ears would perk up. You'd say, Metropolis, Illinois, Metropolis, Illinois, what? And you'd say, isn't that cool? And I found the census records for all this. I found the deeds to land that my great 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 grandfather had bought in that county back in the 1830s, 1840s, 1850s. So my dad filled me in on all this stuff. And then I started filling in things that he didn't tell me. And then I made up this incredible story about them. Fortunately, none of these things actually happened, except for great great grandpa joining in the Civil War at the age of 15. Yeah, he got in the Civil War when he was 15. He didn't like it too much. He didn't like it too much. It was pretty horrible. So now that right there on the color level. Let me see. I wanna. That's not what I wanted. This. Come on, pay attention. That should work. Well, okay, I was just trying to smudge out those spots there. I don't like those. Do. Just get rid of those little spots. Okay. Now, how do I do this? I need to probably get some middle values in here. And you do that with just blending those little white spots with the gray, and you get that. This is over in the stone here. I don't know how big a screen you're watching this on, but that's an awfully small area over there to be describing without saying. I'm over here on this stone over here on the right, and I'm trying to figure out how to get those middle values that might help describe how that actually is. And then I'm going to have to eventually lay in shadows. I haven't even thought about shadows right now too much, unless I was using a line down here, which I was a little while ago. We're at the base of Al Pacino's death throes. Okay, that. Now, these guys are a little bit pasty. I was looking at it last night, and these guys seem a little bit pasty. So maybe I could do a little bit. Well, Al Pacino's probably in shock right now, so his face is not going to get too much color in the last few seconds of his life. But this guy has no idea what's about to hit him, so he could still have some color in his face. Oh, come on. I optimized my hard drive so that wouldn't happen this morning. Okay. Oh, that's why that happened. Dimwit. That's me. Okay. Huh. Let's save this thing. Sometimes I get little problems with this. Okay, I'm saving it right now. I am saving it right now. I mumble a lot, as if I was talking to myself. Maybe I am. Okay, is this working again? No, not really. That is. Okay, I just need bring you down here. Maybe in the shadow area I can put this in here. Yeah, a little bit more body to that. And put some in here. Maybe a little bit in here, a little in here, in the hands of the hand of that guy with his hand on that revolver. And maybe I can go around doing this. He can still have a little bit of color in his hand. His face is going to be ghostly, though. He's thinking about all the things he could have done if he had lived. Okay. And a little bit of more color in Blueboy's face. Remember, Blueboy has red hair, and we can't undo that. We wouldn't want to. I actually have a photograph from the 1920s of my great-great-grandfather who looks...
shooting my sweet?
Oh. Who looks an awful lot like my character. It's difficult to do a man that age without making him look sort of like my character. Though the photograph I have of great-great-grandpa is probably in his 80s, whereas I've got great-great-grandpa only in his 60s. But he's a spry old character. He was a lumberjack. Not an easy job. But one that I kind of resonate for because it enables me to create a story in which, even though you're living in Jim Crow South, um, lumberjacks, the lumber companies hired African Americans, and they worked with white folks. And that was one of the few places you would see that kind of situation. Guys working together like that. And everybody's poor. Aren't any rich people? The rich people don't work. They own, which is not a bad thing per se, except when you get to the point where the lumber people are trying to unionize. Then we get into some ugly stuff, getting some real ugly stuff, which I'll deal with when I get to it. But there's all types of things going on in this area of the country that resonate with history, that is a reflection of the history of that time, that in my research, I became incredibly fascinated with. That there's all types of stuff going on in this area that actually create the modern political scene. Everything that's going on in politics really has much of its genesis in this little area of the country. Strange, how that kind of thing could come out of this little nondescript area. Everybody probably thinks Arkansas. Nothing's ever happened in Arkansas. You don't know much about Arkansas, do you? Yeah, sorry. You need to get yourself a little bit of a history book and see what was going on way back when. I tried to read several history books because history book was written by people who usually have an agenda. History is rarely dispassionate. Most historians, if they're really good historians, they write about history in an area that they have no attachment to, no political attachment, no nothing. You don't find too many historians who do that. You usually find historians who have an agenda, which makes history something you should read. You should read several different sources. And if you can, go back to the primary sources, because the primary sources will tell you whether or not you're being lied to. Like Aaron Burr was charged with treason. Go back to the primary documents, figure out why he was accused of treason. Probably had more to do with who his foes were than whether or not he did anything. But fortunately, I don't have to worry about that too much. Okay, I'm doing all this in the shadows. I'm crazy. Let me see if I can put some shadow in this guy's face. His face should be sort of white too, because he just got shot through the shoulder. That didn't work. Okay, take that out. Okay, lighten this up. Bring it down like this, bring it up like that. Okay. Now the shadow layer, it should give a little zing to that. Yeah, that might help a little bit. Do. And I'm gonna put this down in the color area so I can get rid of that little green tip on his finger. Get rid of that green tip. Yeah, just like that. These little sections where you just go, okay, this little thing, this little thing, this little thing. Like his nose is going to be red, and I got to do something about his hair color. So everybody's got brown hair. This is brown hair, Bill. So I'll give him brown hair, but I'll change the brown a tiny bit because I don't want it to be exactly the same brown. Maybe I'll bring it over like that. And then this guy, he's got to have some hair. It's not just, gray. So I'll give him some brown hair, and then I'll get some highlights in it. Don't want to just be color of pencil lead. Then eventually, I gotta find some way of blending that in. Doesn't look that bad though. As long as it doesn't. Yeah, that's not so bad. Okay, let's take his blue gray, make it a little darker. Put that up in the shadow and give him some shadows on his yeah. So these things kind of meet. And down here, start laying that. I probably need a little bit. I'm doing the pistol whipper. The pistol whip. He's whipping out with pistols and making you wish he'd never met him. Okay. That's making him stand out a little bit more. And now we have to put that shadow down here because it's going to reach over there and it's cylindrical. So I'm going to have to eventually put in a okay. And I guess we can do that. And down here, okay, now we're putting in the shadow down here. And once I get this done, I'll bring it back. I'll reduce the size of this and take a look at it and see how it looks like. What it looks like in total. He start to take his place in plane and holds it. was mentioning yesterday the whole point of this battle. You think this is some big strategic hoo-ha. Well, the Confederacy did want to make an attack inside Union territory. Pennsylvania seemed like a good deal. It's right next to Virginia. And so they headed for this, but the real thing that sealed the deal is that there were shoes in Gettysburg, and the Confederacy had a real need for shoes. They didn't have any manufacturing to speak of in the South, and so the major shoe. Now I'm putting in the darker shadows up here in Al Pacino's deal. Shoe manufacturing was mainly something that happened mostly in Massachusetts. And so Massachusetts wasn't donating too many shoes to the South. So these poor guys were walking around barefoot. Barefoot soldier is not particularly efficient soldier. He's going to have real problems getting around. And so they went after some shoes. That was their big deal. Let's get some shoes. All right, so that's what they were after that day. Shoes. And the first day, pretty much the Confederacy won. They had Union forces running through the streets of Gettysburg for their lives, which gives me the segue for Grandpa Blue's desertion, which was not an unusual thing back then. 200,000 people, 200,000 soldiers, at least Union soldiers, deserted. I don't think they know how many deserted on the Confederate side, but 200,000 of them deserted on the Union side. Let me see if I can add something to the. You want to add kind of a gray to poor old Al Pacino's face. You don't want it to be the same one that you had up there. Let's see what we got here. I can always take this out. I don't like that. Al Pacino's face needs to be. Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to go back there and, okay. Step backward. Okay, step forward. Step forward. Oh, well, do it back there anyway. Down here, maybe he can have some of this right there. But I'm going to leave his face like that. Let me see what I should do for you. Real lightly here. Real lightly. Go over this and give a little more nuance to that shadow. And we don't want that little white area there to stand out too much. And okay, now in this tree I used as a It's sort of an independent layer. I've got to do something. Got to be real careful here. Blood's coming out of poor old Al Pacino's mouth. Nothing you can do about it. Sorry, you're gonna die. So I gotta color that blood. It's kind of gory, but hey, what can I do about it? Okay. Do. Normal. Is this normal? It's also normal. Let me look. Just get up a little closer here. Oh. Okay. Okay, maybe if I put this on top here. Yeah, it's a little more. Of course, how does that affect the tree? Let me see how it affects the tree. Oh, man, it doesn't do anything to the tree. Okay. Get my hand over here. Bring this over here. Okay. Now, don't want it to be like a cartoony uh, puddle of blood. It's going to blend in with the grass. It's not going to be the same color. Strange how it, if I put it up here, doesn't have any particularly, yeah. Okay. Okay, now that means I'm probably going to have to damp it down a little bit. What I could do is just this area here. Let me see if I can, yeah, mess around with the saturation of that. I like a little preview here. Yeah, a little more like that. Maybe it'll make it a little darker. Okay, do that. Then go into it with a little more reddish color. Just little highlights. Okay. And then slightly smudge it. I don't want to get gory here. I don't want it to look garish. And just smudge this smudge it a little bit down here. Okay, let's see how that turned out. Yeah, well, and same problem over here. Now I got to give him some color in his hand, which I was remiss with at one time. He's got to have some kind of color on his hand. Now I got to do that in the color level. Then he's wearing blue, so that's blue over there. And that red is also going on over here when his guts are spilling out. Oh, tree, not shadow. Guys, this is not a children's book. This is not a children's comic book. This is an adult's comic book. Okay, now I can lay some shadow over that. Yeah, where am I? Okay, lay some shadow over that. So, what happens when I do this? Okay, well then I'll create shadow too. Okay, hit shadow 2, make it multiply, and then lay some shadow over that. Make it gray so I can control a little bit of the yeah, I can control some of that. Yeah. So it's in the, it's a little bit hidden there. Yeah. Okay. D. Okay. Okay. Well. So down here, I've been looking at this for a long time. I need to play around with that puff of smoke. Just be full smoke. It's got to have some atmosphere to it. Dee-da-doo, doo-da-doo. Okay, that's starting to get there. I need to get rid of that little green spot there. Right there, there's a little overlapping green that I'm not liking. And I can smudge that a tiny bit. Yeah, that'll work out okay. Okie doke. That separates this from that. Doesn't make them look as if they are cousins. Let me see. Can I do this also? I think I can. Come on. I wasn't supposed to be getting rotary phone today. I didn't get it a couple of days ago. I went through almost the entire session without rotary phone. Never can tell what's going on. Boy. Come on. It's only 10:48 and I'm getting rotary phone. Okay. So let's go back over here. And probably back here. This is a little too blue, just a little too intense. Saturation needs to be knocked down. Probably get some rotary phone out of that. Rotary phone. Now, what am I going to do with that sky? That sky has to have some things going on. It's July. It's not just a cloudless day. So I need to do that, but I don't want it to be a really bright blue. So I got to figure that one out. Okay, got in there. So I think that works a little better. And move this around a bit. Back here, I haven't paid much attention to you since we got in there. You're gonna have to just be the same color as the rest of them because I don't need you popping out. Why are you that color? Huh. I did that. You should be a very... Maybe I hit this with... I don't know. That's weird. And I can soften you up. Anyway, I don't need you looking like you're just pencil, or to take out too much attention from the foreground. I got to make you lay down. Okay, how do I gotta do that? Probably by doing this and then smudging. But I gotta get it completely covered because I don't want it to have contrast. Contrast is gonna make it come forward, and I want it to stay back. And these guys in the background, I gotta figure out a way to fool around with them too. Okay. Looks like it may start to work. Then I probably should mute these guys down too, make them greenish. Even though they're gray coats. Gray's not going to be a color that does me a whole lot of good right now. I'll just make them blend in with the background. Okay. A little bit less contrast down here. You don't want it to all go away, but you don't want it to just look like uncolored stuff. Okay. Move you over here. Yeah, I gotta see what's going on there. So I'll play around with this a bit. All these are really just nuances that establish the space better than what I had. Because this is a greenish gray, and I probably should move it over here and up a little bit, see what happens there. Yeah, a little bit more. You don't want it to be real gray. Doing the background. Got to make the background stay in the back. You can only do that by making sure there's less contrast back there. And that lighter value there is what causes that more contrast, and you want to get rid of that. And then you want to brush size a little bit bigger, and then just little squigglies here and there, and that helps create almost like a patchwork of brush strokes that establish this as sort of like an intermediate ground. You're not going to see a whole lot of detail there. It's all going to be done with these little brush strokes. And then there's all types of things to consider when you're doing this. You gotta make sure every little thing is taken into account. All these are just little things that have an effect on your eyesight, how you perceive this area. So it becomes background. You don't worry about it. It just stays back there and it becomes a subordinate area. It takes a lot of hit and miss. And this over here just looks kind of washed out. So I want to not let it just become some kind of little washed out area, but use those little Cezanne strokes that I've been using to get that area to behave like I want it to behave. Cezanne would have put warm colors in this area also, because he was interested. He was really the one who started this interest in push-pull and flattening things. I'm not terribly interested in flattening things. I want things to recede in the distance and stay there. Okay, stay there. And so I can do some blending here. How's that look? Okay. Starting to do something. Should have left that area a little less defined, and I could do that still. Oh, that's weird. Get rid of that. And what if I were to do this? And then smudge this entire area and got it back down to that value that it was before. Okay, I brought it back to where I wanted it. Except still getting the rotary phone. Okay. And want to blend this in a bit. And even though it looks like there's that place is on fire back there, I am not going to color those flames orange or anything like that. That would defeat the entire purpose of that spatial construction. I'm not focusing in on burnt buildings, even though it makes sense for the Confederates to set that thing on fire. It hasn't got any shoes in it. I haven't looked up to see whether or not the Confederates ever got themselves some shoes. Let me see. What was that? Oh, yeah, that was my blur. Sometimes these things betray you real carefully. What can I do there? That's supposed to be a smudge, young men and women. Okay, I'm still playing around with that a little bit. Well, that edge, and I want to do something real subtle there, up here. If you can see it, here, and this little ridge in the upper right, it's a little too much going on there. And if I'm going to have this smudged over here, I got to have this smudged a bit too. Yeah, can't have too much one-sided smudging. About that, 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 that. I'm just going across here and making it harder to focus on. Make it hard to focus on, it drops back into the background. Anything's hard to focus on, we don't focus on it, and it drops back. Okay. This guy's backside, I'm doing this soldier here. It has to be a little less there, and then I need some green right here. Yeah, oh, I don't want that. That was a mistake. Okay, one right there. That too. Add a little bit. Get that rid of that. Rid of this right here. Just little things like this that are bugging me, even though this has some of that watercolor thing to it going on in it. And Cezanne always left these little things, which are kind of useful. They're little things that make the eye vibrate, make the space vibrate a little bit more. I need to knock down a little bit of this real intense yellow green here. Needs to be less intense. Yeah, this is a little too This is a little too much, I think. Don't want all of it to go away, but don't need all of it. Okay, get out of there. Okay. What's it look like? Ding da doo da doo 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 da doo da doo. Okay. The Florentine method is to make all these discrete shapes, just variations of values. And yeah, I'm seeing what I should be doing. Okay, smudge that a bit, see what happens. Gets this idea that light is shining on it. That's why I'm getting. Okay. It's even oh, I'm getting a rotary phone. It is starting to do it. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I needed that. I need to do that. A little bit of this. Yeah. So it's not just this flat thing. Okay. Makes him stand out a bit more. Well, it just defeats the flatness. That's all you wanted to do. All I wanted to do. Gonna probably have to do the same thing here, here, here. Let's see how that works. I'm gonna have to look up a little bit and find out what the stripes on a Confederate corporal would look like. Would they be white or would they be some other color? Now, should I do the same thing up here and knock down some of this green? I'm going to try it. Maybe I could do it over in my tree section, which is not, it's normal. But I do it between areas. I can always get rid of it if it doesn't work. Yeah, you don't want the same, let's say you say, okay, this whole area is green, it's grass, okay. But you don't want the same green all the time. Flattens everything, so you gotta modulate it, you gotta play around with it. Like right here, it's not a bad idea to give this puff of smoke a little bit of contrast. by doing that. And maybe I could do this. Doesn't have to be just a colored in thing. Maybe it's starting to work. Because it is a greenish thing. Just by hatching and cross-hatching real soft strokes. Here, I start to make it, well, I can't make it look like it's just had the grass mode. And I can layer other greens on top of this to make it behave. This cool thing about this app is you got all these layers that are discrete. And so you can play around with all types of effects and change your mind if it doesn't work. And you haven't, you don't have to go back to square one. Over here, see if that works a little bit over here. So what if I intensified this green a bit? I did it over here. I'm not sure if that's going to work. Gonna have to maybe do this. Gonna have some black in it, but we need some contrast. And I'm still working on a normal level. So I'm not getting a whole lot of transparency. Maybe I could do it up there in the background also. Oh, maybe over here where it's kind of no modulation going on. Ba, 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 ba. Don't want to overdo this. Kind of gray-green in the background. Gonna have to knock it down a little bit too. Okay. Starting to have a little bit of luck. No. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah, it's always the key is to keep these shapes and areas discrete. What you're doing is you're making it not seem visually illogical for them to abut next to each other and have the value and texture that they have. You don't want everything to just be blended together. I can't believe I just actually did something right. Could be doing things right. What's going on? Yep, I'm starting to cook. Starting to cook with gas. Yep. You just have to keep on when you're painting, you just have to keep on plugging away until something works. Yep. Make slightly larger brush strokes up here. So always go back in and modify them also. Don't make it too wild. Okay. Don't overdo it. That may be, let me see, just over here. Need to lay in something. Doesn't make this look like it's a gap. And I think I still need to, over here, give this guy a little lighter value there. Yep. Let me see. Boy. What about that? Even though it's got black in it, and that's always against me credo. Let me see what I could do here. See what happens here. Okay, I'm going to smudge that. See what happens. I'm going to get a long rotary phone on this, but that's live. That may actually add a little visual drama. How about I change my banner and show you the address of my Patreon account. If you'd like to help me out with this, There are all types of perks for Patreon patrons, supporters who help me realize this 9-book project. It's a long thing's going to happen. It's going to take over a decade. So I'm going to be sitting here. By the time I get finished with this, I'll have like 1,500 of these things. Yeah. 1,500 of these live streams. Probably days that I am teaching, I probably shouldn't do a live stream. Teaching takes a lot of it takes a lot of effort. By the time you get finished, you're kind of drained. But I only teach 2 days a week, so that's not so bad. Yeah, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. I like this. I like these things where you use pure color to make it look as if light is bouncing on something. Now, when you do that, you gotta compensate for it. Like down here, I gotta go down into this, and I gotta do it in the shadow. I want to create some shadow down here that corresponds to that. That's a little too much. I'll play around with that in a second. It's just on a discrete layer, so I can't harm anything. What if I did this? I could play around with that. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't such a big mistake. A little bit right there. Okay. So let's see if that works in the other areas here. Oh no, yeah, I'm doing there. Yeah, okay. Imitating my confused old man. What's this? What's going on here? Maybe I need to save it. It's not behaving the way I want it to. That's certainly that deeper green shadow does cause him to hold plane pretty nicely. What would happen if I did the other ones? I might have to do it at a little lighter value of that. Okay. 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 Well, What about back here? Oh, I see. I've got probably my, yeah, there. Let me get rid of that. Okay. Let's see what happens when okay, over the shadow. See what happens when I do this. You can always lighten it up. That's interesting. Huh. Getting an awful lot of rotary phone. I must have done something to that thing. It actually works, kind of. It kind of works. It kind of works. I'm always a proponent for using pure color to create dramatic lighting effects rather than just black, which doesn't work very well. Now, what if I brought this down like this, and then back here, laid this in? Now, this can't be because of the principle that I'm espousing. It can't be a green shadow in the tree. It has to have some of that gray in it, though that doesn't work badly. That doesn't work badly at all. But let's not get rid of this green shadow immediately. Okay, a little bit hint that this is the shadow of the soldiers. Nothing wrong with that. And what the heck? If I'm going to do that, I should do it over here too. And it would behoove me to do the same thing here. A little bit here. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe it will, it won't. It gives you things for your eye to focus on as it travels across the artwork. Okay. What if I took that color right there, that shadow, laid it in here, so I got a little more drama in that tree. A little more drama in the tree. Yep, I think I'm getting a little more drama in the tree. Don't want it to be flat, though. Want it to have some type of sense that there's something going on up there. Okay, and I'm not so sure that starts to look like an eye. So I'm going to get rid of you. I want to knock you down a bit. Okay. I'll lay this in as shadow. Remembering that there's always light, highlight, shadow, cast shadow, the whole 9 yards going on in these things. What in Sam Hill's that? Okay, maybe it's, or the shadow, maybe it's the trunk of the tree, Tree trunks come out a long way. And we don't want it to interfere with him, so we'll play around that a little bit, and then don't want to make it too don't want it, but I also don't want to. Okay, we're still in shadow, so let's see. Okay, let me see. Shadow 2, where's my tree? Okay, tree. Now I'm gonna grab some green, and we're gonna this isn't just shadow on a concrete. This is shadow with, okay. Okay, now I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna burn this a little bit. Make it stand out a little bit more. Because he's, I don't want him to blend in with Grandpa Blue's behind. Right, but I want it to also have a gradation of value so it goes down into, back down here, it becomes a much lighter thing going on. And his thing here has to be a little more accentuated. Yep. And we need to define this guy's lower torso covered by his. Yep, that's starting to work. Okay. Okay. Now, just a little thing here. Just a little thing here in color. If I gave this guy just a little bit of highlight to his face. That wouldn't be too bad. Okay. Maybe some can't make that big. Maybe just the tiniest bit of highlight of Grandpa's nose. Don't want to play with around with it too much. Yeah, and then maybe over here on his cheek. I don't know if that's going to work. Let me see. Get rid of that. I don't think it needs it. Nah. Okay. Let's smudge this the tiniest bit to make sure that, yeah. Let's get some brownish shadows in here somewhere. And we're to go up to the shadow layer and lay in. Well, we were going to lay in. See what happens there. Oh, I'm still smudging. Dumb. Okay, got rid of that. Go back to the brush. It doesn't need to be that big. Okay. A little bit interior shadows on things like this. Okay. This guy needs some shadow on his trigger finger. Some shadow down there too. Maybe up here. A little bit of shadow down here. Give this gun handle a little more pizzazz. Yeah, I've been meaning to do that, but it needs to be a gray. Okay. 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 Shadows here. Probably need some shadows over Grandpa's red hair. Can't make it stand out too dadgum much. This is a brown strap. They had a big strap. Probably their knapsack. I'm not sure. It looks like, or whatever they kept for the personal items, strapped around their chest. Don't want to make it too much going on there. And these things don't need to be white. They need to be gray, but I don't want them to be the same gray. So maybe we'll make them have a gray like that, maybe we'll be able to. Don't want it to be. Want a little bit of that white in there. I want it to be look like I forgot to deal with it. Okay. Okay. What we got down here? Nothing much. Okay. That looks better. That looks a little bit better. Yeah. That gives me ideas. Huh. Get my hand tool, bring it over here. What can I do with? Yeah, I needed to mess with this. This can't just be a white area. There, that helps with that. Now let's play around with the rocks. Okay. Okay. Laying some shadows here. A lot of poor guys dying over here. This horrible war. Shame it had happened, but I have no control over that one. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt to have a little bit of color on some of these things. Remember, these guys were barefoot. I wouldn't. Okay, I haven't messed with the sky. I haven't messed with the sky at all. What should I do with the sky? Well, let's do this. First, that's where I put the color. So let's play around in this area with some large, simple brush strokes. Okay. Nice thing with these, with a tablet, is that if you just barely touch the tablet, you get a really light stroke. And that really helps to get a little subtlety, because this is, in the background. And you'll notice this on any day with lots of clouds in the sky. The ones that are in the background, the real far background, are tiny, tiny, tiny little blobs. Okay, now in the color area, start messing around with some idea that there's light hitting these clouds. Yeah, I didn't like that. And over here. Okay, play around with this a little bit. Okay, that, that, that. It is a July day, and the clouds are going to be a big part of it. And there's even the chance that there'll be some shadows from the clouds on the ground. So we might play around with that later on. You want the clouds to be amorphous. You don't want them to their subordinate area. But you also want them to be lyrical. The way the clouds are. Clouds are our backdrop. We barely notice them, except when they're just like really magnificent. We look up and go, wow, how did that happen? Okay, down here. Let's play around with the edges of those clouds. Okay. And there too. Down here. I see all these marks compared to everything else are extremely soft. All extremely soft marks. Lighter values. Much lighter than anything's happening on the ground, which makes them behave like clouds. Now, Or that tone that I always put over the drawing. That's where it becomes real handy. Stop that, don't do that. This happens occasionally. It always happens around this time. My Wacom tablet starts to misbehave. So it takes a few seconds, then it'll come back. Anyway, you can tell that what's going on is that I'm getting a corresponding thing going on in the clouds that's happening, should be happening on the ground, a sense of light shining. Okay, I'm back. And what was I doing? Okay, I was doing this. Okay, let's play around with that because I can mess around with this all day long. Apply it, reapply it, till it behaves in the way I want it to. I don't want it to look like they're toy boats on the surface of the water. I'll eventually get to this where they behave like clouds but are not photographs of clouds. Absolutely love photography. That's not what I'm doing. Okay. Now, what if I did some of this back here? And we just had some blue clouds. Maybe make that brush stroke a little smaller so I could play around with some of this. Okay, and they should be over here too. Otherwise, it looks, well, it just doesn't look balanced. Okay, now let's play around with the softness of this thing. Don't want them to just be these hard things because they're way in the distance. And they're gonna be less distinct. Okay, now I need to did this in the tone area, so I need to do it in the color area too. Tiniest bit of stuff going on back there. See how that works. Okay. I start to sing my tune. What's it look like? I don't know. How about over here? Yeah. Then in the color area, yeah, a little bit better. Okay. It's a good thing about being able to adjust this all the way across, so you're not wedded to just the first little thing you did. You can actually develop something. Which, maybe it'll work. Okay, do a little smudging because some of these edges are a little hard. Okay. It's hard, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard rain gonna fall. That's what I did last night, man. Dog was whining in the bedroom. That same thing happened yesterday afternoon. Yesterday afternoon was wild. Okay, let me look at my little computer screen there. That's see, it's starting to make a little music. Let me see. Uh, do. Okay. Stop that. Okay. Come back. Little Sheba. Uh, I got rid of some of this tone here and just let the tone operate in the lower sky. The upper sky could be just, blue. And then we could get rid of the tone right now. So that's the blue we have back there. Take that blue, make it a bit richer. Let's see what happens if we put it back here. It may or may not work. Let me bring this over here like this. this over like this. And this becomes, I don't know if I don't want to get rid of just all that. Okay. I want it just to be a straight line across there. I want to have some striations in there. And we have to soften that up a tiny bit. Do-do-da. Probably should play around with that a little bit. Don't want it to just appear as if there's no sun shining over there. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. And we probably need it to be a little more even there. And bring that over there. Same thing there. And this is actually the opposite of what happens, but do what I want. Do. And then, okay. By doing that, I want to, not that. Don't make a dang-a-lang. Okay. I want to accentuate that a tiny bit. Okay. One of my tests of this is I probably should print this out in a high definition format and take a good look at it, because it'll give me an idea what it'll look like in the comic book. Well, that tree up there stands out real nice. Should I do this? Let me see if that worked. I don't know if it does or not. Need a little color there. Yep. Now, should there be, I'm going to just create a completely different cloud shadows. Hit multiply, and then create this. Now just play around with that. What if I had cloud shadows? Just over certain. Boy, that's awfully it's really there, isn't it? Okay. At these cloud shadows. Pardon me. Accentuated some places. I did this on page 40. It worked real nice. I've got the implication that there's clouds in the sky, and clouds cast shadows. If you do it real lightly, it can actually work. It's a hard rain gonna fall. Yeah, and then the cloud cover could be all over the background, leaving the foreground as an even more accentuated focal area. Let's see what it looks like there. Let's look up here. If I because you got to have some sense that the clouds are opaque. Even the fluffiest clouds have volume to them. This is a whole lot better than my original. It speaks the living daylights out of my original. Yeah, this is far superior to my original coloring, which is just the beginning of my trek back into comics. Yep. Now he looks like he's in the shadows, doesn't he? Hooty hoot, as Gomer Pyle used to say. Hooty hoot. Yeah, boy. His Uncle Mr. Taylor could have done this. Yep. Bring you into some shadows and make his hat. Yeah. Do something for that poor boy's hat. Okay. And make Grandpa Blue's face stand out a little more. Well, I think if I did any more, I might ruin it. Yeah, yep. I think if I did any more, I'd ruin it. Let's save this thing. What's it look like to you, number 2? There's somebody watching me do this. What's it look like to you? On my StreamYard screen, it's not too bad. There's limits to what you can do. You know, everybody has limits to their abilities, and I got some of those in spades, but this, if I increased that green, made that green a little lighter than it is right now, what would that do? I can always fix that. I'm not sure that works. No, in fact, it doesn't. It's too big a contrast between the two. I'm just going to undo that. Okay, I'll wait till the rotary phone's over. And I may be at the end of, well, I got one little thing I could do. Oh yeah, was I gonna undo that? Yep. Yeah, undo that because it just didn't work. Okay. It's this tiny smidge right here. I think I'm gonna call it a day. Yeah. Okay. Save it. Okay, I made that background recede, and now it makes sense. And there's clouds cover over it. The clouds that reach all the way up to that fallen Union soldier just to the right Grandpa Brown's red beard, and he looks like he's in the shadow. Glorioska. And that helps with the rest, the fact that Blueboy, he's one of the focal areas, one of the main focal areas, because that orange really makes him stand out. It's complementary color to the blue, so it you catch on to it, especially since you're scanning from left to right. Then right next to him is an area that is definitely in shadow. So and that helps with as you scan to the right and you see the shadow on the battlefield, it becomes shadow. It starts to, yeah, okay, it's shadow. And you see all the clouds up in the sky, and it makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you for watching. Those who watched, if you want to, please like my YouTube page, which is, well, let me see. Well, I have yet to put my blue. I should do that right now. Do that right now. Not that. This. I'm going to do that right now. I've never done it. Silly boy. If you're on the Blueboy, if you're on the YouTube page, well, it doesn't make any sense not. Yeah, it's like, okay, you're on the YouTube page. I know where it is, but those who don't, if you're on Facebook, you might want to go over to my YouTube channel and like it. More likes you get, the more you help me out, and it doesn't cost you a dime. You want to become a patron? I still have 5 spots left for original art from the comic book. And the highest level gets a full super duper page. If you're in Europe or something like that, you got to pay the postage. It's like cost way too much to send it over to Europe. It takes 1,000,000 years to get there. I sent one to Hungary. I still don't know where I got that. I sent it in like early April, and I still don't know if it's gotten there. Anyway, so let me see if youtube.com Blueboy Brown comics. Comes up with anything. See if that now this page isn't available. Sorry about that. Try searching elsewhere. Jerks. Okay. This is till I actually do have a I actually do have a. I'll put it up here. This is the this is what that just makes any sense to. You're not going to be able to do that. No, don't even worry about it. I'm not going to do it. Just go to Blueboy Brown, and you can get onto YouTube there. It's easy. Anybody can do it. Probably daily live stream throughout the month of May. I go back to teaching June 2nd. So even though I'm sitting here in the same seat, I'll be teaching my college classes, and then I'll figure out the deal. Sweetie?
Yes, dear.
Sweetheart, no, I'm. My wife's calling me, and my wife's the most important person in the world. So, at least to me, she is. Oh, I did not do something that I wanted to do. I'm going to do it before I leave. I didn't put gray in that barrel. And that barrel has to be gray. Barrels are gray. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Yeah, had to make that barrel gray. Okay. Save that sucker. Okay. I'm feeling I'm finished. I'm feeling that this is in the can. So I save as I get rid of the banners so you can actually see it. Yeah. And not that. Make this smaller. Got to save that thing. Save. Up to 97%, 98%, 90. Okay, done. Now, this is what it looks like. Okay. So it's better, a whole lot better than it was before. A whole lot better. And I could probably do better if I had more skill, but you got what you got. So I'm happy. Happy enough. Okay. So just to oh that's not nice. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna done. Okay. I forgot to do something, and it's an egregious error. That brown has to go on his. He's got a gun, and it's got a colored stock, and it's that color right there. And he has a gray. I'm going to use that gray just for, and this is gray. Oh, the other part of the stock is still brown. So that takes care of that. I'll do that a little bit. There. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll save that. You go the whole time, you're just looking at that and go, I'll get into that. No, I won't. Okay. Now we're saving that. Then we're going back. And I swear I'm going to log off. I'll be back tomorrow, probably with page 62. I'm redrawing it. I'm going to redraw page 64 also. I don't like it either. So I got a lot of work to do this week. 2 weeks from tomorrow, I'll be teaching college again. Okay, I'm done. So, and I was going to open up this thing in preview. Not that. There. No, that's not it either. Okay. Art board opening. It's sort of like that, you know, it's one of the words in it. How about everything? Art board opening. Joik. It's in here. Yeah. No. Oh, here it is. That's where we are. This is Blueboy Brown, Adventures with a Family. And I'm signing off today. I'm halfway happy. I'm much happier than I was with the original. coloring of this, which was sort of amateurish, and this is less amateurish. So I gotta be happy with that. And I'll be back tomorrow with probably page 62. Go to blueboybrown.com and check out page 59, 60, and 61, which looks like, what's it look like? What did I, recently I opened up, was it this? Did I open up this screenshot? Yeah. This thing. That's what I want to show you at the end. That's what's up on Blueboy Brown right now. It came up about 4 o'clock this morning, and go take a look at it. I'm getting better, you know. I was gone for 40. It was 1976 was the last time I did a comic strip, and it wasn't up to the snuff of what I was doing 3 years earlier. So yeah, you know, but I'm coming back. This is my reintroduction, and so I'm a lot more experienced artist than I was back then, and I know a lot about comics, and I know a lot about movies because I teach cinema as part of my art history curriculum. So that helps an awful lot if I talk to people, especially young kids who want to do comics. I say, look at movies, man. Movies, some of the greatest shot, and look at shots. Look at shots. How you break up shots. How you go from this shot to that shot to this shot, close up, the middle shot, long shot, establishing shot, bridging shot, blah 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 blah. Anyway, you're tired of listening to me, and I'm tired of talking. So tomorrow I'll be back, and it'll be page 62. Till then, I'm out of here. This is Blueboy Brown. This is Greg Taylor, and I'm out of here till tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye-bye, and have a great time. Stay safe. Read a comic book.